Hi folks, my name is Zach Padilla. I'm the product specialist and sommelier here at the liquor store and wine loft of Jackson Hole. We're here today tasting the Acanto. This is their Spanish red blend. We have the Next, which is from Columbia Valley, another red blend, and finally the three-legged red from Columbia Valley as well. So today's theme, red blends. We're going to jump in here, but you can check us out on the web at wineliquorbeer.com. So the Acanto, this is 65% Monastrell, 20% Cabernet Sauvignon, 15% Garnacha Tinto. On the nose, I'm definitely getting some earthy characteristics here. There's a little bit of, not earthy, but molasses, dill. There's some very jammy, fruity, dried fruit kind of qualities to this. But I'm getting a little bit of like a dusty, barnyard, kind of wet leather kind of characteristic as well. Along with the fruits, I'm getting some big ripe raspberry, blackberry, blueberry, kind of jammy dry, you know, somewhere in between. There's definitely some jammy fruits, but like some dried plum I could see maybe. Definitely echoes on the palate. There's a little bit of white pepper though on the palate. A little bit of a vegetal character as well. Maybe like some red bell pepper kind of characteristics, but definitely all that ripe red raspberry, the plum, cherry, blueberry characteristics. Very jammy to dry, like that jammy blackberry, dried plum kind of characteristics. I'm getting a little bit of that mouthfeel from the white pepper and maybe the oak, so some molasses here on the palate, along with a little bit of that dill. I really like this one, but we've tasted this one before too, so you guys can check those videos out as well. The Next, this is the red blend from Columbia Valley. Now this is a Bordeaux style blend. What they were shooting for here was 45% Cabernet Sauvignon, 36% Syrah, 17% Petit Verdot, and 2% Merlot. So all except for the Syrah, they were attempting a Bordeaux blend here. So let's see what we got. Definitely getting some like jammy, dark and blue fruits. So got some blackberry, some blueberry, some like I'd say black cherry kind of characteristics. A little bit of molasses, a little bit of chocolate, nothing too overdone here. It's kind of soft, kind of there's like some violets on the palate, on the nose as well. Very very floral there. That is such a good one. I love this one. Definitely jammy all over your palate. That blueberry, blackberry, fresh fruit kind of taste. But then you've got that kind of jammy plum, a little bit of like a Bing cherry or black cherry kind of characteristic. A little bit of chocolate, molasses, vanilla. There's some definite baking spice characteristics here, like cinnamon or nutmeg. But it's kind of, it lingers on the palate like a medium finish with all the fruitiness. And then there's this kind of white pepper and chocolate, kind of smoky aftertaste as well on the back palate. Nice wine. Last one up here, we have the Dunham three-legged red blend from Columbia Valley. This is their 2007. Now, we have not tasted this one before. I believe I've sold it in the past, though. There's kind of a musty characteristic to this one. Kind of I want to say sulfur, but I'm kind of hoping it's going to pass off a little bit here. Behind that, yeah, it does kind of waft off a little bit, so there might be some voltaic acids that are kind of lingering on this. But there's like a raspberry tartness, a little bit of blueberry, a little bit of that black fruit, blackberry plum kind of characteristics. Definitely getting some violets, that kind of floral kind of characteristic, but it's more dried. There's definitely some like dried plum, dried blueberry kind of characteristics in here. A little different. I'm seeing that jammy quality. I'm seeing that tart acidity. I'm seeing a little bit of that molasses, the baking spice kind of characteristics from the oak. Getting a little bit of like an earthy dust kind of characteristic that could be coming from the palate or the region. So Again, most likely an attempt at a Bordeaux blend from the region. So I do like this one. I'm kind of seeing them a little differently. I could see absolutely doing this one with some like dried meat, so ossobuco, prosciutto, something like that. Great pairing for this one. Nice dried characteristic from this wine, so it could go really well with that. The next is a nice jammy, juicy, all over the palate kind of wine with some decent tannins. I'm thinking steak here. Finally, the Dunham three-legged red. I could see this one much more with maybe a steak, but I would actually prefer drinking this one by itself. I think this is one where some friends around a table, maybe a little chocolate would be great. So today again we tasted the Acanto from Spain, the Next from Columbia Valley, and the three-legged red from Columbia Valley as well. All red blends. Thanks for joining us. We'll obviously see you next week. Make sure to join us every Friday in the store from 4 to 7 p.m. for our weekly wine tastings. Check us out on the web at wineliquorbeer.com, and we will see you next week. Cheers.